It's literally impossible to be a woman. Gloria from the Barbie movie. You are so beautiful. And so smart. And it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary. But somehow, we're always doing it wrong? You have to be thin. But not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy. But also, you have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but also, always be looking out for other people. You have to answer for men's bad behavior. Which is insane. But if you point that out, you're accused of complaining. You're supposed to stay pretty for men. But not so pretty that you tempt them too much or that you threaten other women because you're supposed to be a part of the sisterhood. But always stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge that, but also, always be grateful. You have to never get old. Never be rude. Never show off. Never be selfish. Never fall down. Never fail. Never show fear. Never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory. And nobody gives you a medal or says thank you, and it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also, everything is your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself, and every single other woman tie herself into knots, so that people will like us. And if all of that is also true for a doll just representing a woman, then I don't even know. Gloria the Barbie movie. Didn't Cynthia Nixon make a video with a speech very similar to this like 5 years ago? Be a lady, they said. Note to filmmakers: Margot Robbie is the wrong person to cast if you want to make this point. Rolling on the floor laughing. I was actually a bit scared to watch this with previous posts. But I just finished this movie. I did not cry at this. It honestly just made me a little angry. But that's because I've heard this before. I feel this every day. It's nothing I don't already know. I basically feel like face down Barbie. I started crying during this speech. I never cry at movies. It's a running joke with my husband because he does all the time. But this movie, I cried 3 times. It was perfect beginning to end. It was a nice moment, but honestly, as a 31F and after seeing reviews online, mostly men losing their minds, which had motivated me to go see it, I came out of the movies just thinking this is what they're losing their minds over. It's not even radical WTF. I kinda learned nothing, but would have liked to see it as a teen, early 20s girl. This makes me emotional and I'm expressing it. I have no difficulty holding both logic and emotion at the same time, and it does not diminish my powers, it expands them. This one got me for some reason. This movie is genius. It's impossible to make everyone happy. The solution is fuck them and do what makes you happy. Felt that first bit during a date today. My mother loved this part. I cried so hard at that. It hit me like a ton of bricks. At a time where I was at my lowest and felt like nothing I ever did was good enough. Like I tried so hard and had nothing show for it and didn't even know who I was at all. I had to take my time to process it. I never thought I'd say that about a Barbie movie. But I had a life-changing moment in the cinema watching it. I ugly cried at that point. Every guy I've talked to about the movie claiming to hate it has gone on to tell me they haven't watched it after I told them what I think about it. The people shitting on the movie haven't actually watched it, I promise you. And the few that have don't have the actual mental capacity to understand it. Women need to be perfect, but men just need to be enough. The enemy must be both strong and weak at the same time. I really like this monologue. But can we talk about the weird line later in the film by the Barbie creator? I don't know if I'm misinterpreting that one, but I kinda hated it. We mothers stand still so our daughters can look back to see how far they have come. Like, WTF. This movie means so much to my soul. I laughed. I cried. It is so joyous. Can't wait to see it again at IMAX. And you can't show needs or boundaries. But not be a mop because you have to defend your partner. But you can't defend from your partner. You have to be thin and fit, but without dieting it's annoying, or do too much workout it's selfish. You have to deal with kids, grocery, cooking, cleaning, working out, reading, meditating, sleeping 8 hours a night, make new certifications, wear makeup but not be shallow. The list is never ending. Yeah, surprise, surprise. This is the part of the movie people talk about when they say Barbie was too preachy. Is it right on the nose? Yeah. Is it wrong? No. This message is subtle throughout the movie and then actually spoken out loud at the end. Including the stuff with Ken. I kinda hated this speech. This scene made me feel I was smiling like a fool through her whole speech. I felt so validated and not alone. I came out of this movie feeling like I was strong and could take on just about anything or anyone. I genuinely thought it was only going to be silly and fun. One of those movies that's not that good, but you enjoy anyway, ya know? But instead, I came out feeling so good about being a woman. I also figured out why so many men hated it. Just because you're as deep as a frying pan doesn't mean the movie wasn't good and didn't make great points. I cried during this lol. When I went to the movie theater to watch this, a lady yelled, "Hell yeah, damn right," and started clapping, and the rest of the theater started laughing and clapping too. I think we all felt that lol. It's amazing how little this applies to people who just don't give a damn what others think. My friends don't judge me. And if they didn't, they wouldn't be my friends. Some random wants to comment on my life and what they perceive as my shortcomings. Says more about them than me. It's refreshing. More people should try it. Yup. Ugly drying as well as on the scene of Barbie and her creator. The climax of the film for sure. That movie was so fucking depressing to me. Women are way too hard on themselves. As a girl, I try to be best version of me and that's it. I can't change to fit whatever social media says. Honestly, I don't care lol. I love being late 20s and not giving a shit about that anymore. Most universally relatable monologue I've watched in a long time. I'm surprised every time anyone comes away not feeling like they were being spoken to directly. I just went to this movie with my mom last night. I cried a lot, but I also laughed a lot. The movie couldn't have been better. I cried 3 times watching that movie. This made me sob. 90% of the speech I thought was mostly obvious stuff. Then parts of it just hit. I don't know how many times I've told my husband. I don't know how I can be so damned incompetent. And still in charge of F-king everything. As a woman, this speech was so cringe to me. Honestly, could not relate to any of it, and I felt like it was pushed too hard. They did too much telling and not enough showing. I was a crying mess in the movie theater when she gave this wonderful speech. That was a total spoken word moment. It was awesome.